RetroJules. I hope this video finds you well, and those of you who are stuck at home, I hope you're managing to make the most of it and getting plenty of tanking done and getting all those jobs done at home. A little while ago, I bought the T92 Falcon. Don't really know why, just really quite enjoying Tier 8 light tanks, and I thought I'm quite enjoying Tier 8 premium light tanks, so wanted to add one to the collection. And this is how it went. So this was the first actual game. We find ourselves in Baja, one tier down, not too bad. Don't tend to see a lot of the mercenary maps coming up. I've always got a comment to make about the maps, and that's my comment today. Don't see a lot of the merc maps. Well, why did I buy this tank? Well, I quite like the look of it, and I just really quite fancied another Tier 8 premium. Compared to the Vanguard, it's got a much more powerful engine, but it's a heavier, larger tank. It's got a faster aim time of a whole second quicker. Similar, but slightly better penetration values on the 76mm gun. Less damage per shot, so it does a damage of around 150 compared to the Vanguard at 220, but it is a single shot cannon. And you can reload in just over 4 seconds. A really quick firing gun. And it also has an extra 20-meter view range over the Vanguard. So overall, some not bad little statistics in there. It definitely doesn't feel as nippy as the Vanguard, but I do quite like the acceleration on it. I'm hoping it's going to be a slightly more stable tank to drive around. But I was a little bit concerned about the size of the tank. I can't hide it in tiny little bushes like the Vanguard, so didn't put binoculars on this. I've just got vert stabs, vents and optics. A very, very standard setup for me. But I do need to keep an eye on that mini-map. That E75. How can a heavy tank sneak up on me? Should really have been aware of it. But as it happens, doesn't seem that it's that interested in me. So, just missed that shot. And not really sure what the E75 is doing, actually. And well, that's what the underneath of my tank looks like. And actually, it's quite unusual to see that the camouflage doesn't wrap itself on the underside like it does in most tanks. Anyway. So this was a weird game because our team are really campy. Really campy. And generally, if your team are campy, you're going to lose. And I'm not going to push. They've got a whole platoon, well, I don't know if it is a platoon, a whole group of tanks on the west flank coming on the shoreline. And most guys haven't moved from the cap. So I don't tend to go too far yet until I know it's safe. But we are whittling them right down. We are 6 tanks up. And we've been playing the campy game. So it just throws those rules out in the open, you know. Those who camp lose. Well, not necessarily so. And I'm just going to go in now because I'm kind of hoping I might find Artie. Actually, our team will absolutely be able to cope with the guys coming up on the shoreline. And I find the Patriot asleep. Oh no, it's woken up. And in we go. Job done. And this was far from an exciting game. It was just the first actual game. There was a little bit of aiming. There was a little bit of auto-aiming. There was the usual driving techniques. And it was quite nice to play Baja. There's Artie. And yeah, go around the cap so they don't know you come in, Retro. Are you going to go left or right? He's in the next little valley. I'm going to go left, okay? So round the corner we've got the heavies and Artie is there somewhere. And what I have found with this tank, which I quite like compared to the Vanguard, is because it's got a powerful engine, never really considered this before, it stops really quickly. And the Vanguard catches me out so many times, especially as I'm just coming up to an edge. And it looks like I just do not know how to drive it, which is partly true. But it's because the brakes are rubbish. Because it's got such a weak engine, its stopping distance is quite long. And I end up rolling over. Whereas this has got a really good stopping distance. And it stops pretty much instantly. As most tanks should do. They should kind of stop within the length of their own tank, really. Vanguard doesn't do that. And it is a tiny tank. So, last two heavies. The auto aim clinches me a kill. The Fatherland. Well, I was bouncing shots all over the place on this Fatherland, just trying to get it tracked, and it just wasn't happening. But it's just nice to know that you've got, you know, your next shell in sort of 4 seconds later. A really rapid firing tank. Well, that was the first game. And how did we do? Half decent on silver, excellent on XP. Yeah, not a lot of damage myself, a little bit of assisted. It was nothing stunning. Oh, 3rd class mastery, oh good god. And how do we do overall? And we came 4th. And next we find ourselves on Cliff. Now, from a light tanking perspective, I don't know if you remember the video with me and Carrie, the lighthouse is a really good place to dominate from and capture. But you've got to capture it, and it can end up being a very quick game, as it was with Carrie, if you go up there, and the other light tanks have gone up there. So it's not generally something I tend to play for. What I will do is I'll go down to the bushes just down to the right from this side, or the left from the other side. I'll always go to the same clump of bushes and peer through. And if there's a whole load of tanks, I will not go up to the lighthouse. If you see a couple of light tanks racing up the lighthouse, I won't go to the lighthouse. So, push right through. Nothing. This is my opportunity to take the lighthouse. There's their light tank, which is not climbing the lighthouse. And what I do like once you get up there is you can dominate the game and be a right royal pain in the backside for the enemy team, especially if they're engaging heavies sort of down below on the 9 line. You can keep peering over. And of course this tank has got 10 degrees of gun depression. So here I am. Can we dominate the game from here? Where is everyone? You are kidding me. The one time I get up here, full health, don't have to dick around, messing around, trying to take out the enemy light tanks. There's nothing going on. You are kidding me. Our team, again, are really campy. They're going nowhere. So, I don't think... Oh, steady. That's it. Reverse down, Retro. Make it look like you actually meant to do that. Yeah, they'll never know. It looks like the whole battle is going on down the 1 and 2 line to the west. There are no enemies out here whatsoever, which is, well, in my experience, pretty much unheard of, actually.
There's one.
So, I'm going to peer over, see if I can expose Artie. And any tank destroyers. There's one. And you've got to love the reload on this tank. Unfortunately, it doesn't do an awful lot of damage per shot, but you can reload quickly. And I suppose the downside of that is that if you do take your shot and the enemy sees you, you haven't done a whole lot of damage. And you have to keep peering over or keep exposing yourself to get the next shots in. And of course the answer to that is, well, don't expose yourself, don't get spotted, use that detection zone and keep yourself out of trouble. And there's just, yeah, look at them. The whole enemy have lemming trained. Time to go in and see if we can get any shots from behind. This, like any of my games, wasn't amazing, but it was just kind of amusing that the one time that I could actually ascend the lighthouse without any trouble, and I couldn't do anything up there. It was just a little bit frustrating. And this was a brilliant tank to get up there too, because it is nicely manoeuvrable. The 10 degrees of gun depression is brilliant for up there. But I never got to take advantage of that. But we get our first kill, hurrah. And, well, we are quite a few tanks up. And there's a big top over there. And yeah, let's do some aiming, Retro. You're a bit of an auto-aim freak, aren't you, really? Let's do some proper... Let's make it look like it's proper tanking. And fortunately, the big top is not interested in me. Not even looking in my direction. And one more shot will do it. And and the kill is stolen from me. Damn it. Well, one light tank left, and well, that was the game really. It was getting to the lighthouse, nobody to shoot at, and we absolutely creamed the enemy in what was a very quick game, just under 5 minutes. Ridiculous, really, when you think about it. So how did that game pan out overall? Excellent on silver, pretty good on XP, decent amount of damage, decent amount of assisted, third class mastery again, and overall we came second. And finally we find ourselves an Arctic region, yet again. Arctic region with me in a light tank generally ends quite well. But normally, that's in the Vanguard. So I'm just hoping that I can work a little bit of retro magic on this map and make the T92 Falcon work for me as well. So I'm going to head for my usual bush, turn round and see what I can do. I don't do tank reviews on this channel anymore. Used to a long time ago back in the day, but tank stats would change so often that as soon as they changed the stats, tank reviews would be sort of null and void really, and you would have to start all over again. And in all honesty, I'm probably not a good enough tanker, and I don't really like going over all the figures and comparing them when I think that most people could actually do that for themselves. What you really want is a good tanker playing the tank, showing you how well it can be played, and then giving you some feedback. Well, what I can do is I can play these tanks badly and give you a bit of feedback. Do I recommend the T92 Falcon premium tank as a good purchase? For me, it's a tank that lacks a little bit of personality. There's nothing stunning about it. It is absolutely not a replacement for the Vanguard. This is what I love about the Vanguard as a premium tank. It is quite unique. And that's what I think premium tanks should be. They should have these really unique qualities. But this tank is mobile. It's pretty fast. And it has a very good fast firing gun. The downside of the fast firing gun is it's a nibbler. It does lots of little bits of damage, which sometimes isn't all that effective. But if you can keep that gun active in the game, then the chances are you are going to rack up a decent bit of damage. It's an excellent silver earner, and it will also help a little bit in training your crews. I've got my Bulldog crew in this tank. It's a fun tank, it's a good tank. I would say not a great tank, and it doesn't really replace any other tanks that are out there. It's just good, it's okay. I'm glad I've got it because I am really enjoying my tier 8 light tanks. I'm quite happy with the tiering at tier 8, and I'm just happy sat back in my light tanks for a little bit, and this was just an extra tank which was on sale for me to buy. And the reason I've kind of gone back to the light tanks, because I think originally I said to you guys that I wanted to sort of give you a bit more variety in the gameplay, but for some reason light tanks for me make more fun videos, more tends to happen, and generally I do more damage in light tanks than I do in any other tank that I own, as a rule. So I've gone back to what I enjoy, because in this time when we're all stuck at home and it's all a little bit doom and gloom, when I do roll out the tanks, I want the games to be fun and exciting. So this is the third game in a row where quite possibly our team haven't been that strategically placed on the map. We have pushed down in the south, but we do come to a standstill there, and then we seem to be almost a little bit campy again around the cap, and the enemy have pushed right round the north to the northeast, and they are present. So at this stage I would say we have the potential to lose because we are not pushing hard enough. But I'm going to do my damnedest to try and keep the enemy at bay and stay alive. And this is another reason why I quite like the light tanks. If I actually start reading the map and pay attention to the map accurately, I have the ability to relocate quickly and get to various spots on the map and be a real benefit. Now there's a Carnarvon down here. There it is. And I snap a nice shot in. And then, yeah, there's something over the back there that I can't see. And I think it takes another shot at me. Yep, there it goes. It whistles by. And there's something I can't see at the back. And so part of me is thinking there's a heavy down there having a tussle with that Carnarvon. I kind of really want to go and help. But I know that if I do, because I'm out in the open here, as soon as I get close, I'm going to be lit up and I'm going to be a target. So I feel bad for not going in, but I don't think I would survive. And as you've seen from my gun, I'm going to have to put a lot of shots in to take that Carnarvon out. And as it happens, the heavy that was engaging it is taken out by Artie. So I'm kind of leaving our team to it at the cap. And I'm going to see if I can help, because we were pushing this flank of the map and then we came to a complete standstill. So I'm going to see if I can help. Well, that Panther is going to be a couple of shots for me. And don't know where that went. And he fluffs his shot. And I am aware that they have two Artie. I don't really want to be staying in the same position. I'm going to... Yeah, see? I'm going to be paranoid and think that actually, if a light tank pushes this far and keeps lighting the enemy up, it is #1 threat. And Artie are going to focus on me. Of course, the other side of that is I'm quite manoeuvrable. So, you know, Artie are going to have a hard job hitting me if I stay on the move. So why are they targeting me in the first place? Well, that's their tank destroyer taken out. The enemy are one tank up. It's all to play for. We're not in a sort of aggressive position, but we're in quite a good position here where if I keep things lit up, we've got that medium at K5, a tank destroyer, and Artie's nice and safe too. The M6 stays behind the rock. The two mediums are down in the gully, in the, I don't know what you call it. It's not a valley, whatever it is. The dip down yonder. And see, this is me being clever. I'm going to use their vantage point. Oh, that Panther's a nemesis. I'm going to use their vantage point, but reverse up, because that way I can accelerate forwards away and stay. Yeah, see, Artie is absolutely chucking shells at me. Unfortunately, I'm staying away from them. Right, can we do it again? Are you going up frontwards this time, are you? Well, I've got better gun depression that way. Leaves the Panther on 7 health. God. And Artie's still having a go, and a shot comes over. Hits me in the tracks, luckily. Another Artie shell comes in. Artie are not going to leave me alone. And I'm thinking here, if Artie does hit me, it could be game over. So, 2 mediums around the F4's area, down in that dip. We know where the heavy is, and we know where Artie are going to be. So the middle of the map is completely clear. So rather than stay where I was and risk being hit by artillery, and I wasn't being an awful lot of advantage there really, I couldn't light anything up, I couldn't light artillery up, I'm going to go through the middle of the map and come from a different angle. We've already got 2 mediums coming that way. Right, Panther, quite well armoured. I'm going to have to go in with an auto aim. And it bounces, but not interested in me, luckily, and a ram kill takes the Panther out. I absolutely do not have the skills to go driving in and manually aiming to take that tank out. It had to be an auto aim. Didn't work, didn't matter. We are 1 tank up. It's that heavily armoured M6 and their 2 artillery. And our medium is still at J5. It's obviously still pinned down by that M6. And it pretty much needs us to go in and change the focus for the enemy. Quick little snapshot on the M6. Ah, gets a shot in. Trouble is, artillery are going to know where I am now, so I'm just going to duck out the way.
Unlocking target.
Do not want to be the focus of artillery over here, but I do want to light them up. And, well, what's going on? Artillery was probably in a really good place where it hadn't been detected and nobody could light it up, and for some reason I don't actually know what's it doing. Oh no, I'm not going to stop because there's the other artillery in play. Absolutely not going to stop. I have no idea what that arty was up to. It was perfectly well hidden and it comes right out in the open. It was obviously on a reload, and, well, who knows. Well, artillery are taken out. We won that game. Why go hunting Artie when Artie comes hunting you? And how did that game pan out overall? I enjoyed that game. I enjoyed the relocating. I quite probably, reading the map relatively well. A very decent 2,300 damage. A little bit of assisted. Magnificent silver. Great XP, 2nd class mastery, and we came 2nd overall. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing the T92 Falcon, my relatively new tank purchase. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.